Yo, what is good, High TF Mob? It is your boy Booba back with another video. And before I even get started, I'd like to pop off by just saying happy Juneteenth and happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there doing what they can for their kids during these times. I know it's hard out here for everybody, but everyone's making it work how they can. And for those of y'all that are actually showing up and being a presence for their children, and even for those that are supporting in circumstances that they may not be able to be there for their kids, that's still doing as much as you can, despite your circumstances. So again, just wanted to show that acknowledgement to those fathers out there as well. But let's get it, let's hop right into it. So far, we're just gonna kind of skim through these different pairs from top down. So we're going to kick it off with AU. Again, there was a lot of sideways movement going on last week. So this week I'll be looking for a lot of continuation moves going into the higher time frame outlooks. Right now it is the 19th of June. So we know this month is almost about to come to an end, and that means we're going to get a full printout of this candle by the end of this month. So we will see how it's leaning. We might see some bearish movement on the rest of this month to close out this candle to probably insinuate further sells on this chart, and we'll actually be deciphering that on the lower frames. So far our weekly candle we're dealing with right now is this candle. So it is started off by trying to rise, actually by trying to drop first and then rise, but now it's coming back down. So it's looking like it's trying to test these previous highs, and we'll see how high it may potentially go based off this daily candle. So the daily candle opened and kind of did the same behavior where it went down, threw a fake, goes up, tries to throw another fake to the upside. And this is where we'll now get down into our low frames. And again, keep in mind our daily TPs are still the same. So I'm not touching anything from last week as far as what I have for my map. So we're just playing with the candles of this week, and then we'll make moves from there. But based off of this does look like the 4-hour is slowing down, coming back up, trying to test this previous high here. We do know our swing high is up here. Our current swing low is way back here, because this was the low that led to this previous high breaking and then set this as a peak high. We could also say, yeah, that's fine for now. Breaking this leg would actually churn the trend back in favor to the high frame. And I like to look for two positions going into my next day. So the reason why I go for two positions is because I'm risking 2% during the Asia session. So if I'm actually going to get into a setup, this looks really good. I'm not going to lie. Based off what I have outlined, we know that liquidity pools are going to be these zones. So we know price may be coming down to attack these. So if I'm going to actually do a 3-to-1 and hold this for tonight going into New York. So the way my strategy or my way of approach works on a week-to-week basis is I like to find moves like this during Asia session where I could potentially see them playing out overnight. Because again, we saw the 4-hour start to fail here. Yes, it's definitely possible that it'll test here and then come back up. But again, remember our entries, we always want to go our way at least a little bit, so we get the chance to at least put our stops at break even, and then just see if it plays out in our favor. GU might be identical. So I might take that alongside it or see what AJ and GJ might be doing, but we'll get there when we get there. I think the AU and GU are going to be ones I'm more likely to press on getting into, because I remember looking at these going into the end of last week. So those being my twin pairs, I like this previous high here. We're just going to keep that set up there, and then we'll just see how that works out for the night. So as you can see, my risk that's being put up is a little 283, because right now the account balance on my demo is actually higher than it needs to be, because I passed a couple of tests before. Usually what I like to do is reset this so that it scales the percentage more accurate. So it really should say 250, but it's totally fine. I'm not going to worry about it. But basically those are 1%. So I put up 2% for tonight. If those lose, basically what's going to happen is my my daily loss limit will leave me 3% to be able to still trade with in the morning. And remember, my trade time that I generally want to show up to the market is 9 a.m. because 9 a.m. is when the markets tend to kind of straighten themselves out and play into the bigger moves or the high time frame trends. It's not always the case, but it's more likely to happen then. And also you're getting a lot more activity at that time as well due to, market news, opening times, just a lot more volatility, a lot more volume going on. So with these two, I hold these overnight, and it adds the possibility that I could always return 6% before going into the next day. And it always adds the possibility that I lose 2% before going into the next morning. So in a way, it's a controlled pace. And what will end up happening is, say that I added on 6% going into those 9 o'clock trades, that now gives me the ability to over leverage trade safely, because what's going to happen is that extra 6% is all money that was added on, and the daily loss limit now becomes 11%. So if I were to risk 3-4 positions in the morning, it gives it a high chance to play out to actually add on a lot more by the time the daily loss limit resets back to 5% for the day at 4 o'clock. So what I like to do again is just show up at this time, see if these moves will continue playing out. And then if they don't, it doesn't hurt me, because again, you can make back both those losses in just one win the next morning. So with that approach, those being identical, I like that. I'm going to also mark my 1 hour. And I know these are already a little bit pre-marked. All I did was kind of cleaned up all the positions I took from last week. And I noticed that most of my lines I didn't have to really take off anything for this week. They're already pretty well adjusted. And what I will be doing, because I know normally I leave my swing highs and swing low lines there throughout the week, I'm actually going to just try to track the markets more closely this week, so I'm more precise. So you'll probably see these swing highs and swing lows move around a lot more. And if you notice it, try to test yourself, try to see why I'm moving my swing highs to certain areas, and see if you can be observant on that front. I know, granted, I only post 2 days, but you'll just at least see the lines move to different significant areas throughout the week. So hold on, let's do this here. I do want to start doing lives. The thing is, I haven't attracted enough people to actually be doing those. Maybe I'll just do it anyway, honestly, just so that people can get a better sense of what I'm doing in the morning and how I'm going about placing those positions. Because I swear sometimes with newer traders, and I was in the same boat too, with newer traders, you tend to have traders paralysis a lot more than more experienced traders. And a lot of times you'll be like, oh, how are you getting in at this time? Like, how are you knowing to get in? It's like, no, really, you really got to read the candles and understand timing, just time frames and things like that, because you're using that in favor to complete your puzzles. So that's really all it is to the game, and you just have to trust that those situations will work out for the best. But in the same way, like you just saw me mark liquidity zones for AU, I'll do that here. Go ahead, go crazy on GU real quick. You already know the vibes. You already know the vibes. I hope y'all are all doing great. I'm not gonna lie. I always like to come and just bring positive vibes wherever I go, because man, it's tough times right now, for real. Everybody's getting their ass whooped. Everybody got something going on, for real. So I just try to stay positive, keep the vibes up on the channel, and bring that energy. For sure. Hold on. Let's go ahead and knock this out real quick. So yeah, I'm just marking these as potential targets. Remember, these liquidity zones, it's easy to find double tops, double bottoms, or really long wicks that stand out to help trap the price, to show you that it was just simple sideways movement. And then whenever the breakout happened, those would have been your entry opportunities. Likewise, with that situation, left side right now, this is kind of what's going on here in the current moment. And we do know price will move sideways. So if I'm betting on price moving sideways rather than reversing, that means I'm betting on it continuing downwards over time, which means it should play out a pattern and then break to the downside. It's no guarantees, because again, it can tap right here, break out here, come up, wipe me out. Market does not surprise me. Again, it was my experience. It's just a matter of finding new positions. So again, this is why I like to leave my stuff behind, so that you guys can see the transparency in my positions and how they end up playing out. And a lot of what I like to do is, whenever I close out, like let's say I close early here, I like to squeeze it and then kind of just make the cutoff, the area that I got out at. So just pay close attention to those, because that's really my positioning. That's me showing you how I'm managing, where I'm really getting in and out at, and that'll help you guys kind of better understand what to do. So AU, GU, they're probably in the same boat here. I know AU, again, I'm looking for that multi-candle to end off with the sell. Same deal here with GU. We did our test at the beginning of the month, and this is us towards the end of the month, back at the middle of the candle. So it's safe to say the next, let's see, 10 to 11 days. Yeah, the next 10 to 11 days here, we'll probably just be seeing bearish movement. So right now, this weekly candle is going to be pretty crucial because we have a new weekly candle right here. I don't know, y'all can't really see it like that, but this is our new weekly candle that just opened. This was last week's. So last week's wicked and actually didn't break. And this week's could also pop off wick and then drop down to officially break this leg. So if this shakes us out, I will actually still probably look for that sell. If it breaks back above this zone, I'll probably start looking for buys back up towards these wicks up here. And then we can start looking for our TP1s, TP2 or TP3 to the upside. So yeah, now let's drop down to AJ, GJ, and UJ. So here, ooh, I like this. Again, this is our new weekly candle. This was our last week's movement. We had an upwards buy, bulls took over, and the bears came and swung the market down. And then towards the end of the market, bulls brought the price back up into what we have now, this current weekly retest happening. So price looks like it already went up a little bit and is trying to come back down. But if I look at the daily, overall, the daily looks like it's pretty much double bottoming to rise out of this situation. So this is where I like to go down to the 4-hour to pay attention to this area to see what's the detail like around this zone. If I see prices pushing up against these lines on my 4-hour and it's building up in a consolidation zone, then I can say it's safe to say we're actually looking to buy this situation out of here. So let's drop to the 4-hour, see what we got. Right now, it looks like price is failing to even come back up to this high. And if price actually closes below this low at 12 o'clock midnight, we can say it's safe to say this sell is still valid down to the swing low, because price is failing on the lower frames, and that will actually play into this week's candle of price potentially falling first before buying back up. So if price falls, we can look for our buys probably further down here into this swing, because again, the monthly is still to the upside. So this candle is still technically a buy monthly candle. So we'll see what's happening. We'll see what's good. I mean, again, we got another 11 to 10 days. So it could be a lot of news coming to hit. And that's actually what I was going to show you guys after doing this low frame markup. So again, everything is kind of still there. I kept it pretty up to date from last week. Let's drop to the 1-hour. That's where I like to do everything. Okay. So this was our high that led to this swing low breaking at the time. It wiped it out. This created a new swing low. Price came back up. It wicked out right here, created this swing high. It didn't break, but here's where it poked through. So this created the peak, and price always has the ability to come back and wipe it out. At the moment, this setup is what we see here. Okay, so this is pretty valid. This is a valid setup, but yeah, I would put it like above that wick to make it 3 to 1. And then we see prices building up. So we have price create this peak high, create this low, create this lower high, broke through with this candle close, create a lower low, came back to test this high, couldn't break, and now we're coming back down to wipe out this low. So it's just the same stuff again. And then these would be our targets to the left side for pools of liquidity. GJ is actually looking like it's also in the same boat of wanting to start its sell-off. So again, I do like to restrict myself to 2% to 2 trades. If it's me, I personally I like taking twin trades because I get more confidence in that setup of knowing 2 markets are lining up to do the same thing. So if you did AJ and GJ sells, that wouldn't be bad either. If you did UJ and AJ, it wouldn't be bad. But just try to keep it to 2% max. of risk at this time. Because again, you don't want to chip away your account so much overnight that what ends up happening is you're down 3% and then you can only place 2 positions in the morning, when in reality in the morning, that's when you should really be there. You'd want to place more positions then. So to be disciplined about not over trading, not over leveraging, that's a great way to approach it. So this is it. This is how I approach everything every week. Again, the institutional blocks you'll see from time to time here and there, because there's a reason why they're being placed. I have yet to get to doing like in-depth market breakdown knowledge yet, for as far as like different tools people can use, different tricks you can use to read candles, stuff like that. Because there's a reason why everything is happening. But when you understand the reasons, you put it all together, you're able to form a confluence. And that just means lots of things, lots of evidence line up in your favor as to a reason the market will go one way. So find your reason and then trade your reason every time. If I go down to the 15-minute, you'll probably see right here, price when it spiked up, started building up, and then shot down on the 15 and 5-minute. So you'll see this is a double top situation. That was why when price came back up, this was our point of interest. And the reason why the point of interest was there was because the last up candle was technically this one before it made the down move that broke this previous low. This is now our point of interest. So that's why this would be a good zone to sell from. And if price were to respect and not break through this, now you know, okay, at least your stops were at break even once it got near here. And that was the moment to see if it would hold up and break through or not. And if it took you out, that was okay, because you knew they weren't done trying to go up. So it's all chess, not checkers. You just want to constantly learn how to chart the market week to week by reading the candles. So we're going to, again, start from our weekly. We see our weekly is starting off with a nice little sell down. Oh, I'm not going to lie to you, bro. That is okay. Okay. This might be an exception, because here we go. This is almost like a dead giveaway, right? We have this huge wick right here. We have a new week that started. It gave us the insinuation that it went up first. We know it's lining up the sells on the daily now with just this individual candle. It's not to say price will go all the way down here, but we know at the very least price will come to test this daily low or this daily low. This would be the peak daily low. This would be just the relative current low. So with this, if you're scalping, right, this is a moment where you could drop to your 15-minute. You can even have maybe a fib retracement tool, right? So for me, remember, I like to have my 50% tool here. The reason why I have the 50% tool is because I like to look at whether price is premium or at a discount, to know when I should be buying and selling. And right now, with where price is, I know price is at a premium. Once price is on the bottom half, it's at a discount. So price being at a high value, we know people are going to try to sell it off right now. So when price is at a premium, like so, and this is real rise information. This is stuff they teach in the academy. This is stuff that helps me kind of have a confluence and just feel more confident in understanding why something is going to happen in that moment. And the discount would be on the lower half. So if price comes back down here, you see price build up and start to make its way out, you'll know it's because price was at a discount and it was ready to buy back into our trend. Okay, so we'll see. That's not guaranteed. It's never guaranteed, but you got to be able to formulate just a speculation of what might happen here. So if I'm scalping, yes, I would take this down in the 50% and then look for my buy somewhere around this zone, maybe down here lower. But again, I like these setups, so I'm not going to overtrade. I'm not going to overdo it. If I can close 6% before going into the next morning, that's lit. Like, I'm not even going to complain. If I get a couple percent, that's even fine too. It doesn't have to be the full 3%. So it's down a 15-minute. Man, so again, we can do that same situation with my points of interest. We know the last up candle before the down move was this one here. Let's go ahead and do that. And that was the down move that led to the price breaking. With this situation, you have this really big candle that creates this really large zone. So what I like to do is drop to the 15-minute and then really squeeze the candle on the lower frame that actually did the same thing. So this is the last up move. I'm gonna trap the candle itself. So right here. So this candle right here is the last up move before leading to the down move that broke price out. Price came back near it, point of interest. So real rise block, and then now you know multiple reasons why this seller is valid to take down. Okay, so we'll wait that out. I don't like the real rise blocks. Of course, like I said, I'm gonna be doing active edits throughout the week because I didn't do that last week, and I felt like I missed a lot of moves because I wasn't doing that. So I'm just going to try to be consistent with it this week. So you'll see a lot of different liquidity zones disappearing and popping up from your Sundays to Fridays. So again, try to test yourself and see maybe why I'm moving things to where I'm moving them throughout the week. And then you can just see how, based off my positions I leave behind, how and why I was reacting in certain areas. So I leave that as a challenge to people and just to see if you guys are actually paying attention per video. Because if you are paying attention and you're applying this every week, you're probably already making money. I'm not gonna lie to you. Just gonna put it that way. Like, you're probably already making money. I've shown you guys consistently from when I started that this is definitely doable. You just have to be active about what you're doing. So again, I always like to keep my liquidity pools on the 1 hour just to keep things simple. In this case, we're gonna do this. This is our liquidity pool. So now we know price breaks out this other end right here. We can look for some re-entries going down. And this is what I mean by I'm going to be active about moving this week, is so that I could be on top of this shit and really be using the 5-15 minute mark charts to really just lock in on it for real. So yeah, this is a good move. I like this. I like these a lot. It's going to be a pretty good week too, because again, if we see they're going to throw this first, we know there's money to be made on this movement down to test this wick. There's lots of money left there. So it's probably the same situation here with UJ. As you can see, we still have the same weekly outline. So our weekly lows down here, weekly highs up here. We have it on our bank levels. We have our TP1s and 2, TP1s through 3 marked out. We know our weekly wants to start off with a sell. They already tried buying up. We know we're on a bearish candle for our daily right now. Remember, this daily candle starts at 4 o'clock. So for 4 hours, we've already been going up and now trying to make a downwards motion by the end of the last 2 to 4 hours. So we had a situation where this was our first hour when the market opened. So this is our first hour when the market opened. Our second hour, this is our third hour while it was open, our fourth hour. So now 8 o'clock going into 12 is going to be our next 4 sets of motions down. So now we know structure should play out, which means this would be just as valid as the rest of these. Okay. So here, now we can go ahead. Remember, I like to try sandwiching my position as much as possible when it comes to liquidity levels, so on and so forth. The reason why I actually even made these angles like this is because this is just a channel, right? It's an ascending channel here, and it's actually moving into a point of interest at a slow rate. So this was the last up candle for the down move that led to these lows breaking to break structure, right? This was our point of interest. So now we have a situation with price was channeling back up, created a double top. And then if you wanted, again, like I was saying, keeping things horizontal will help you sandwich it to trap it to know on the low frame, you can read that 5-minute chart and then really get a squeeze entry into this position. So this could be wiping out all this liquidity. And this is why having it angled is not a bad thing. You just have to understand channels and those other patterns, ascending triangles, all that stuff to really be effective with it. So now if I wanted to, I could take this off because there was a reason to be even looking for a sell opportunity. I can leave this down here the same, or I can, again, make it horizontal. So yeah, those are the market outlooks so far. Again, we know this is just the startup of the week. By the end of the day tomorrow, because remember, each day candle takes 24 hours. By the end of the day, this whole daily candle could be on this upside. So this is why I say at 9 o'clock, I want to come back and check things, because at 9, chances are we're moving back into the trend of the high frame. So chances are this has already been done selling off. London is the time to be getting out. You get a bit of market volatility through news, people waking up, banks getting active. And then from there, you could see the reversal, or it could literally just be some type of spike down. And then in the middle of the week, we'll look for that buy up. So the middle of the week, meaning this weekly candle has done some substantial movement to one side, and then we'll get that reversal, kind of like last week. So now, real quick, before I end this off, I just want to run through economic events real quick. So go back up here, and then we're going to drop to our 1 hour. Okay. So now everything should be spread, and then we'll see what news should be hitting. So like right here, we have, looks like some US dollar news. Oh, okay. Of course, it's holiday, so Juneteenth today. They're just trying to say it's a holiday, so ideally you won't really need to trade today. Again, these are positions I'm just holding. Professional traders actually probably aren't even touching the charts, which is okay too. So RBA, government low speech. So the speech here is not high impact, it's orange. It's medium impact, so that's okay to leave alone. Tomorrow, it's looking like we might have another speech, and then there's going to be some high impact news. So this is a good example of like what I meant by if you're actually looking to get in a position at this time tomorrow at 9, you wouldn't want to just place this order at this time, because the chances are you're getting in late, okay? And it could spike really badly one way and wipe out your stop loss on top of go over your stop loss. So it's better that if you know this was coming up at this time, to kind of map things out into what should play out into your structures. So if I see the sell kind of setting up now, I'm assuming around this time at 9, it'll already probably be down by these lows at the very least. So at least I'm somewhat in profit. And that way, if the market news volatility picks up, I'm not getting hit by having to place a position during high spreads, because then I'm getting hit with larger commission fees and so on and so forth. So it's just me using these lines that will be coming up over time to know what should propel and fuel my puzzle piece finishing up. So if it's me looking at this on the wide scope of things, it's very possible that this could sell down to here and then actually make a move all the way back out of here, okay? And then create a huge W pattern, right? Because you have this huge leg here and this huge leg forming on this side. So that's all possible. You see all these events that are supposed to come up later or over time. Mind you, that's the y-axis to the market. That's the stuff that makes it move up and down. So this is why if you swing trade, holding your positions and not looking at the market all the time is beneficial for you, because this news generally plays into the favor of the higher time frames. So that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. I just wanted to show you guys that news information so that you can get a better sense of how I'm going to use that indicator throughout the week. But I'm only really going to turn this on at the times that I'm going to be trading, or if I actually find a way to do these lines better, I'll probably find like a colorway and something that blends really well so that it doesn't look all crazy like that. But yeah, I hope you guys do enjoy this. I hope you guys are enjoying the series and content. Again, leave me some feedback. I'll always be willing to read over that and just kind of make improvements based off that. And don't get it twisted. The way the channel content is coming out now, I'm just pumping out as much videos as I can to have substance for you guys, so you guys can kind of dance around and watch all the different stuff that I've done throughout the week and just be able to use that to have a base foundation of what the future of this channel will look like. So again, thank you guys. I really appreciate the support. If you guys could like, share, comment, and subscribe, that would be amazingly appreciated. You guys are super dope. Enjoy your day, enjoy your holidays, and peace out.